Scene 1. There is a darkness in the city tonight, but this very night was about to change for a very particular person. He enters into the parking lot he loves to watch over the city at, standing at the top of the edge, looking over. As his fellow partners walk up behind him, the one in white shouts, "Hey Matsuda, are we just gonna stand here all night? Or are we gonna go for a hunt, man?" Matsuda pauses for a moment, and then looks at his friends and shakes his head yes. "But first, I need to tell you guys something." The one in the black jacket and black suit says, "What? What do we need to talk about?" Matsuda looks at him and says, "I've got this strange call from a guy. He goes by Chess, but I couldn't hear his real voice. I think it was masked by something. But he told me to beware of what's coming. And then it cuts out." Matsuda shows them his phone. Fried. It fried right after he hung up, but not before he sent me a text. "Meet soon." The one in the white looks at Matsuda and then looks at the other one in the coat. As Matsuda says, "Let's go. It's nothing to worry about. That Let's go check out that place we've been scoping out." The one in the white spoke and said, "Well, before I came here, my informant told me the deal is going on down there tonight. So they're carrying something pretty tough shit and something, a couple of duffel bags." All three of them shook their heads at each other and and jumped and ran as they hit the stash point, grabbing their gear and weapons. As they arrive at the abandoned building or warehouse, staring at it, Masada felt this strange feeling, something off, something disturbing. But he shook it off and gave both of his partners a signal to survey the area to go ahead. Masada started walking up to the building. As he peered inside the window, he saw 4 girls tied up, 6 men speaking in Spanish or some type of language. Right as one of the men was about to grab one of the girls, the one in white, Matsuda's partner, threw several smoke pellets in the room to surprise the men as Matsuda jumps and cuts the girls free, and the 6 men grab weapons and try to attack Matsuda and his friend in the white. But Matsuda and his friend in the white take them down like clockwork, in sync with style. The girls run off to safety as they start. All of a sudden, they hear clapping. They Matsuda and his friend in white, they both look around for the noise, as the one in black jacket stood over them, wiggling his finger at them. Both. The one in black says, "It's about time I've done this." Matsuda. As 5 men ran up, dressed in black, with their faces covered. They charged and started attacking Matsuda and his friend, dropping them to their knees. The men hold Matsuda up by his arms, down on his knees, controlling him. The one in the black coat walks up and says, "You want to know why I'm doing this? Well, first let me do this." He walks up to his friend in white, snapping his neck as As Matsuda watches his friend drop to the ground, Matsuda struggles to get free, but to no avail. He can't. The men are too strong. The man in black walks up again and says, "You really want to know why I'm doing this? Because of who you took from me long ago. The only person that I cared about. You killed my uncle. So now I'm gonna end you both." Matsuda struggles to try to get free. And one in the black coat breaks his friend's neck. He stares at his friend, walks up to Matsuda and looks him in the eyes. Matsuda can see the smile through his once trusted friend. Matsuda asks him to remove the mask and look at him, and calls him a coward. The man in black walks up for a sec, takes the mask off and tosses it at Matsuda, then creeps over to Matsuda very slowly as he pulls out a blade and slides it into Matsuda's chest, slides it into his body. Matsuda could feel this cold steel. The men let him go, dropping Matsuda to the ground, leaving him there to die and bleed out. Matsuda stares at his lost friend, about to close his eyes from the loss of blood. Felt like hours. He opened his eyes just for a second. He sees a tall man in a black trench coat, with his face covered, lean over him as Matsuda passes out. 3 days later, Matsuda wakes up, bandaged up, looks around this dark room as he sees his friend, in white, laying in a hospital bed next to him. In the middle of with a bunch of needles stuck into his neck in the bandage. Masa also notices a cell phone in the middle of the room. He struggles to stand up to go touch his friend. As the phone rings, all of a sudden, a woman walks into the room, presses the button, puts the phone on speaker, and a voice that sounds so familiar comes out. "Don't do that, Matsuda, unless you want to interrupt your friend's healing process. And if you do that, you'll lose him all over again. I did that to save his life. You're lucky that I know the magic that I do. You are also in luck as well, Matsuda. The wound you suffered was quite severe. I warned you there was war coming, and you feel it, right? You fell right into it, even after all the clues and riddles I gave you. We have a lot of work to do, Matsuda." Matsuda looks at the phone, then looks at his friend, and asks, "Who are you?" The voice replied, "I am but one, but none. Down the rabbit hole, you are safe here, my friend. And to answer your question, you can call me Cheshire or Chess. Now rest up. You have some healing to do. Mikore will be there to help you. She'll bring you water and food to make sure you recover." Matsuda looks down as he punches the ground and the floor and answers, "Yes, we do got a lot of work to do. And I'll make sure." As Matsuda lays down, end scene 1.